Now, as we prepare to go into the stillness and the silence, we take some deep breaths in and out. We relax our shoulders, our head, our bodies. Just like the still, hot summer nights, we know that we go into this stillness and this silence knowing that we are loved and embraced in divine love. So we gently enter into this silence. gently come out of the silence. We give thanks. We give thanks for this time of connection and stillness, knowing that we are going forth and guided in divine spirit. We give thanks for this community that is around us. We give thanks for our digital community. And we give thanks for Dr. Richard and his messages. We give thanks for Matthew and his beautiful songs that touch our heart. And most of all, we give thanks for divine life, joy, grace, and love. And so it is. Amen.
spent my whole life searching for a shelter for my soul, an understanding of the greater plan. In these walls I've seen the light of love pure and divine, helps me remember who I really am. In every face it's clear, we're all God's children here, and it feels like home, it feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home, it feels like home, a family that I can call my own. It feels like home. It's a place to share your burden. It's safe to shed a tear, say a prayer and raise your voice in song, where every heart is honored and every path is true. No one's here to judge you right or wrong, and there's no shame, no sin in this place where love begins. And it feels like home, it feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home, it feels like home, a family that I can call my own. It feels like home.
We open our time together this morning by opening and settling ourselves. Let's take up residence in this present moment. Enjoy the feeling right now of relaxing into your chair and nourish yourself with a few satisfying breaths. Allow a very pleasant memory to fill your mind and your heart. Allow the gratitude of that memory to fill you. These simple steps nourish us, and they return us to a deep core of love and peace. This is our deepest nature, our essential self, this place of peace that always awaits our opening. We gather together on Sunday mornings to celebrate life and to celebrate being alive. Each of us is a small but uniquely significant cell in a much larger body. We could say a unified field that has no inner or outer limits. Within this sometimes breathtaking mystery, everything is held in order and harmony, often beyond our sight or our understanding. By aligning our best energies now in communion and community, we create a field of love, peace, and goodwill. We will carry this with us. We are each gifted with the capacity to choose. This is a spiritual gift. Today I wonder, where can I choose love over anger, disappointment, judgment? How, where can I bring harmony instead of struggle? Where can I rest my eyes and my mind and experience sincere gratitude? Through alignment and recommitment, I become a light that shines beyond my perceived limitations. And so it is.
Feels like home. It feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home. It feels like home. A family that I can call my own. It feels like home. You with the sad eyes, don't be discouraged, oh I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness there inside you make you feel so small. And I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let yours show. Your true colors, true colors are beautiful, like a rainbow. Show me a smile and don't be unhappy. Can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you've taken all you can bear, just call me up, because you know I'll be there. And I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show. Your true colors, true colors, true colors keep shining through. See your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show. Your true colors, true colors are beautiful, like a rainbow. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Welcome. Welcome and good morning to Unity in Lynnwood. I will try to make my welcome as warm as the week has been, so I'm going to really have to work. It's very comfortable in here now, and if you don't enjoy air conditioning in your home, which I don't, I'm enjoying the comfort. Whether you are here in our sanctuary live audience or with us from the comfort of your home, we're so glad to have your presence, and we feel very blessed by your company. Thank you for spending your Sunday morning with us. Some people enter our doors here at Unity in Lynnwood because they love Unity's philosophies of acceptance, inclusion, individual authority as opposed to religious doctrine or dogma. But many come from other spiritual traditions or no formal spiritual study. No matter your history, we want you to know that you are welcome here, and we believe we have a lot to offer, especially in these times. Unity welcomes people from all lifestyles and backgrounds. Unity's highest intention is to see beyond the divisions of our culture. So many ways we divide ourselves up: race, politics, sexual orientation, economic status. It goes on and on and on. We work here to see through to the deepest, most core human values and spiritual values, to see one another's true colors. What you will most likely continue to hear here at Unity in Lynnwood is what we have heard here for some time. No matter what is going on within you or around you, you have access to resources, to a source that is found within all of us, as all of us, and within all life. Opening ourselves to and aligning with this power in whatever way works best for us makes it possible to find comfort, guidance, redirection, assurance, faith, and trust that can enable us to do the things we could not otherwise imagine doing. I've come to hear a kind of unspoken mantra here, and it sounds like this: yes, you can. It's a gentle voice of empowerment. I see some nodding heads. They've heard it too. I hope that you will quickly come to feel at home here if you are relatively new. If you've been around for a while, I hope you will continue to feel at home here. Hopefully you'll be able to stay after service today, walk across the hall to our friendship hall, and enjoy some coffee and tea. Perhaps make a new friend, get reacquainted with an old friend. This is how we make community and create our spiritual home. Welcome, Dr. Richard.
I love doing this with Linda because I get to go to church before I go to church. Thank you, Linda Baven. You know, the world is brimming with people who look a lot like me, doing something that looks a lot like mine, offering words of welcome. And when you consider Unity in Lynnwood in the broader conversation, a national conversation, the reputation is one of welcome. It's one of inclusion, but it's not because of people who look like me doing something that looks a lot like what I do. It's because of you. It's because of you. I can speak words of welcome. I can speak words of inclusion. You are the ones who make it real. Begin our time together today then by being courageous with me, even if it's slightly courageous. And find someone else and say, welcome, I see you today. Welcome, I see you today. And maybe another face, welcome, I see you today. Welcome, I see you today. We in community tend to think this. See if you can relate to this. If I feel welcome, it must be a welcoming community. And in truth, the exact opposite can be true. I feel welcome can be an indicator that I am simply a part of the clique. Circles who turn in and leave their backs to those who would participate in our conversation. So no, welcome is not a dynamic of comfort. Welcome is a dynamic of daring. So thank you for being daring. Thank you for being willing to engage someone you have not yet met and say, welcome, I see you. So I begin with gratitude for the reality of a truly welcoming community. I turn to you and I say thank you. I say thank you. I really quite admire you and I quite love you. I want you to know that. Practical spirituality, welcoming community. That mission statement, so short in its words, but so deep in its implications. And so it is that every week I like to reiterate one of its supporting statements. Today I've chosen the first of 6, and it reads as follows. We offer a metaphysical teaching which encourages regular spiritual practice. I'm looking at you. Regular spiritual practice, including, but not limited to, prayer, meditation, affirmation, denial, service, and study. If you would like to pray with someone following the conclusion of this time together, Unity in Lynnwood has a bevy of enlightened, trained prayer chaplains eager to support you. Your only requirement is to seek one of these people following today's service. They will now stand that you might identify them. These noble souls will be located in this general area. If you are a member of our online audience today and you desire to pray with someone following the conclusion of our time together, start that process by writing prayer@unityinlynnwood.org. Include a working telephone number and expect a call from an anonymous caller following the service. If you would like to participate in a divine wholeness session, yes, you are welcome to go to the family room following the service. A chaplain will meet you there. Imagine being in a space in which a dedicated individual, without words, simply stands in his or her affirmation of the very highest truth of you. That's what it is. That's what it is. The family room immediately following our time together. Unity in Lynnwood's men's group is fashioning a retreat. This is a save the date announcement entitled Men, Our True Selves. This is scheduled for September 9th through 11th. The destination is still being determined. It's been written that this is a great time to relax, have some fun, enjoy some great food, build relationships, and take some, quote, time out of life, end quote. Register today by visiting unityinlynnwood.org. Go to September 9th on the calendar page, and you know how to do the rest. Always, always, always. Scholarships are available. Never allow temporary financial circumstances to deprive you of any offering of unity in Lynnwood. It is with her blessings, it is with her great love that Reverend Nina has asked me to share with you the following. She is speaking today at Unity of Bellevue to return next week.
Hello, beloved Unity in Lynnwood. I'm sitting here in the Bellevue Botanical Gardens, wandering around in this sacred place on this beautiful 90-degree day in the Pacific Northwest. And as I was wandering around, I started thinking about all of you and how much fun that we've been having together, how much we've grown together, and that this journey started way back in 2013. It's been a while, and just thinking about how much we've done together, singing, laughing, drinking wine, eating chocolate, listening to Matthew, being inspired by Richard's message, growing together, and coming to the realization that it's time for me to close the chapter on this particular part of our journey together and start a new chapter, for I've accepted an offer by Unity in San Antonio to become their senior minister. And so I'll be leaving all of you. But please know that as I do, I carry you all in my heart. And while it is with great excitement and great anticipation, it's a lovely community. I'm so excited to be going there. I will also miss all of you terribly. Please know that I carry you in my heart. And remember, as I do, as I'm reminding myself that we are all one. And so I am in you, and you are in me. And let's carry that forward into the future. Namaste.
Reverend Nina Clark, Senior Minister. Reverend Nina will return for the next few weeks. As we finalize the details of her final few weeks at Unity in Lynnwood, you will be informed, you will be invited. Words of invocation. Take them in the manner most suited to you in this moment, whether that be silently or aloud or quietly. They read thusly: though imaged and named variously, there is a singular and eternal ground of being from which all life emanates and into which all life retreats. We choose to call this ground of being God. By extension, we come to understand that we are spiritual in nature, human in expression, and limitless in potential. Be with that for a moment. We gather today to remember such truths, to celebrate our unity, and to honor all life. And so it is, and so it is. It's a teaching from the Judeo-Christian library, and it suggests that you cannot serve two masters. You might have heard this before. Now let me begin with a reminder. The teachings of the Judeo-Christian library are not tidy. The serious student doesn't get to conclude that its contents are all literal or all metaphorical, because they're not. The serious student doesn't get to conclude that its contents are all universal truths or all crusty irrelevancies, because they're not. The teachings of the Judeo-Christian library represent some of the explorations of two early faith communities, detailed by human beings over some 1,000 years. Human beings from different cultures, human beings with different views, human beings who spoke to different audiences, human beings who wrote with different purposes. The teachings of the Judeo-Christian library represent some explorations of two early faith communities detailed by human beings and twisted through countless translations, distorted by various agendas, warped by selfish interpreters, and mythologized by fearful societies. Dear friends, the teachings of the Judeo-Christian library represent the Jews and the early followers of the way, a splinter group numbering maybe about 7,500 people by the end of the first century, a splinter group who would come to call themselves Christians. If you're sitting on the edge of your bed every evening holding your gilded King James in your hands, thinking that you're reading pure wisdom from on high, it is important to realize you're not. You're not. It's not that easy. It's not that tidy. The serious student, we don't get to be lazy. Now, I say such things not that the Bible might be rejected. I say such things that the Bible might be redeemed. We are a demanding people who are less and less inclined to accept any religious ideology that requires us to discard scientific knowledge, to disregard mental health, to deny innate authenticity, or to desert loved ones. But the good news is, we don't have to. The wisdom of the Judeo-Christian library doesn't really require us to disregard, deny, desert, or discount. It requires us to grow up. That's what it requires us to do. It requires us to mature. It makes no more sense to search for Jonah and his whale than it makes to search for Jack and his beanstalk. Such powerful teaching tales as these were not written as historical accounts, and we dishonor them by insisting that they were. Whew. I stumbled upon a social media post this past week. It was a minister who said that if the Bible said that 2 + 2 = 5, well, he would accept that and live his life accordingly. I would very much like to enter into a business deal with this minister. I'd like to do some buying and selling, in fact. We are a demanding people who are less and less inclined to accept any religious ideology that requires us to discount common sense itself. It's a teaching from the Judeo-Christian library that suggests you cannot serve 2 masters. Now, like so many of these teachings, as a multi-dimensional teaching, I like to suggest that this may offer wisdom about them. Wisdom about us, that it also may offer wisdom about you. In a sense, the wisdom gleaned then depends upon the wisdom sought. Seek a teaching about them, meaning seek a teaching about a people in a specific time and place, a people who lived in a certain era, a people who physically walked the earth and influenced its ways. Seek a history lesson, we might say, and you can find that. Seek a teaching about us, on the other hand, meaning seek a teaching about people in general. Seek a teaching about those collective dynamics and tendencies that are bigger than history, collective dynamics and tendencies that exist beyond specific eras and specific geographies. Seek an ethical guide, we might say, and you can find that. Now, seek a teaching about you, on the other hand, meaning seek a teaching about what it means to be an unfolding, evolving soul, a teaching in which every war represents a war that's waged within, a teaching in which every character represents a character that exists within, a teaching in which every triumph represents a triumph that's realized within. In other words, seek a soul handbook, and you're likely to find that as well. And so it is that Bible literalists tend to enjoy that layer of wisdom that's about them. Bible philosophers tend to enjoy that layer of wisdom that's about us, but it's the metaphysically minded, it's the metaphysicians who tend to enjoy that layer of wisdom. It's about you. Sounds a little selfish at first to consider the possibility that all of the biblical events, all of the biblical characters, all of the victories, why, they're all about me. They're all about me. A little metaphysical narcissism run amok. And yet that is one end game of the metaphysical layer of meaning. And it is this layer which I encourage from us today as we reconsider a passage that asserts you cannot serve 2 masters. In other words, I'm not asking you today to consider what this might have meant to serve 2 masters in the ancient Mediterranean basin, even though that may have been relevant. I'm not asking you to consider what it might mean to serve two poles on some ethical spectrum, even though that also may be relevant. I'm asking you to consider what it might mean to serve two masters in your inner world. Because you know what? I happen to believe this is incredibly relevant. And you might already know what it means. You might already know what it means to serve two masters in your inner world. I may not be of any help to you today at all. You might not require or need any assistance from me. Let's say you start to awaken to the suggestion that as an individuation of a limitless creative impetus, by whatever name we choose to call it, you are perfectly unique. Let's say you start to awaken to the suggestion that your gifts are unique, that your perspectives are unique, that your capacities are unique. Let's say you start to awaken to what I would consider to be a universal spiritual truth, and that's that the infinite expressive nature of God never has and never will create another one, just like you. Let's say you start to awaken to the suggestion that if God as creator didn't get lazy with flakes of snow, if God as creator didn't get lazy with grains of sand, then God as creator didn't get lazy with the likes of you either. You are a once-in-a-lifetime being. The odds of another you make the odds of that lottery win look like a coin toss. You are not a projection of your parents. You are not a stamp of your circumstances. You are not a widget of your culture. You are a limitless individuation of a limitless creative potential by whatever name you might choose to call it. Maybe that's a good affirmation to carry forth into your week. I am a limitless individuation of a limitless God. What do you think? I am a limitless individuation of a limitless God. Take it with me just because it's fun. I am a limitless individuation of a limitless God. Oh. Whew. Whew. Let's say you start to awaken to that. Well, then, maybe this teaching suggests that as you begin to worship the master that is your uniqueness, you'll find it harder and harder to worship the world's conformity. As you begin to worship the master that is your uniqueness, you'll find it harder and harder to allow the world to discount your value, to discredit your vision. You'll find it harder and harder to allow the loud and fearful wisdom that swirls and circles about all of us to have the final word about your relevance or your destiny. You'll find it harder and harder to give your authority, to minimize your worth, to lower your chin just because they don't get you. Maybe this teaching suggests that. Or let's say you start to awaken to the suggestion that the totality of your earthly experience has the potential to unfold you, to grow you, to bring you toward your fullest self. Or said in more traditional language, let's say you start to awaken to the suggestion that the totality of your earthly experience has the potential to bless you. Now, such a suggestion isn't meant to justify every ridiculous choice, every cruel action, every blind selfishness perpetuated by human beings. It is to say, however, that the capacity for redemption exists behind every ridiculous choice, behind every cruel action, behind every blind selfishness. This is why I so often say that the spiritual path doesn't suggest the absence of difficulty. The spiritual path affirms the presence of meaning. It's in the ending that we discover the sweetness of the beginning. It's in death that we discover the profound honor of life. It's the songwriter Karen Drucker who said the same thing in different words. She said, "There is no spot where God is not." Let's say you start to awaken to the suggestion that the totality of your earthly experience has the potential to bless you. Life works for you is another way of saying it. Even as I look back over my 57 years, where did the time go? I have to admit that some of my most valuable experiences were some of the most difficult. I can conjure betrayals that changed me. I can conjure struggles that strengthened me. I can conjure circumstances that educated me. So let's say you start to awaken to that. Maybe this teaching suggests that as you begin to worship the master that is your faith, you'll find it harder and harder to worship the world's fear. Maybe this teaching suggests that as you begin to worship the master that is your faith, you'll find it harder and harder to imagine enemies around every corner. You'll find it harder and harder to perceive adversaries in every face. You'll find it harder and harder to anticipate disasters on every horizon. Maybe this teaching suggests that as you begin to worship the master that is your faith, fight or flight give way to curiosity and wonder and trust and surrender and delight as the new companions on your journey. Maybe this teaching suggests that. Or maybe you start to awaken to the suggestion that there really is one ground of being from which all life emanates and into which all life retreats. Said a different way, let's say you start to awaken to the nature of existence as singular, as one, as something we share. And let's say that this awakening to the nature of existence as singular gives rise to a sense of connection and a sense of compassion that you have never before known. Well, such an awakening would certainly speak to our Jain brothers and sisters who perceive a soul that is shared by people and cows and ants and corn and beyond. And as such, our Jain brothers and sisters would hold sisters, or would hold people and cows and ants and corn as inherently equal in worth. I have to tell you, I think I might be part Jain. I might be part Jain. I also might be part Hindu. I'm definitely philosophically, strongly Jewish. I'm also a little bit Wiccan. I have been known to cast a mean spell during football season. But I digress. And while such an idea might seem strange to our Western ears, I have to tell you, it would not be surprising or strange at all for one in China to be Confucian in youth, to be Taoist in adulthood, and to be Buddhist in the advanced years. In its strictest forms, even the Jain's mouth might be covered by a cloth to avoid unnecessary harm from the breath. In its strictest form, the Jane's path, might be cleared by a brush to avoid any unnecessary harm inflicted by the foot. Isn't that beautiful? Let's say you start to awaken to that. Well, maybe this teaching suggests that as you begin to worship the master that is our oneness, you'll find it harder and harder to worship the master of the world's selfishness. As you begin to worship the master that is our oneness, you'll find it harder and harder to disregard your server at lunch this afternoon. You'll find it harder and harder to purchase without thinking. You might not carry a brush to clear the sidewalk before you, but you will find it harder and harder and harder to forget that there are those who do. You're welcome. You're welcome. Maybe this teaching suggests that. Now, it strikes me as interesting that as opposed to translations of earlier similar passages, this teaching isn't interpreted to say you shall not worship two masters. It doesn't say you must not worship two masters. Rather, it's interpreted to say you cannot worship two masters. Ooh. It's not interpreted to say that you shall not or that you must not. It's interpreted to say that you cannot. Cannot, as if at some juncture you'll find yourself completely unable to do it. Now that is a bit of a different twist, don't you think? What if this teaching isn't best interpreted as some moral dictate, but as a description of what it means to grow? I like to think that this teaching suggests that as we cultivate a deepened understanding of self, of life, of God, we'll find that we cannot any longer worship those masters of conformity, fear, and selfishness. We cannot. We cannot. In other words, if you've been accused of hearing your own music and dancing your own dance, maybe this teaching says, good for you. Good for you. Making waves and causing trouble, maybe this teaching says, good for you, baby. Good for you. If you have been accused of going against the grain and swimming against the current, maybe this teaching says, good for you. Good for you. If you've been accused of becoming a sassy old eccentric with an uncanny positivity, a tendency toward wild compassion and senseless generosity, maybe this teaching says, well, good on you. Good on you. I like to think this teaching suggests that as we cultivate deepened loyalty, if you will, to that essential core within each one of us, to that still small voice, as another way of saying it, to that eternal one within, to that holy of holies, we will find that we cannot any longer worship the many masters of our outer world. And as we do this, I like to think this teaching says to each and every one of us, good on you. Good on you. Good on you. Take a deep breath with me. Let us close those outer eyes and just give ourselves to an idea that we cannot serve two masters. We cannot serve that realm of deep spiritual knowing and that realm of transient egoic suggesting at the same time. So the question what is the nature of the master I serve today? And we watch. And we listen. We need neither accept nor reject. We need neither embrace nor push away. We need only watch. What is the nature of the master I will serve today?
And I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow.
And we lift our voices together to place a cosmic semicolon in the sentence of our consideration simply by saying, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is. And amen.
Thank you, Dr. Richard and Matthew, as always. As we pause for a ritual now that we call offertory, let's take an internal pause again and see ourselves in our mind's eye as part of the great circle of life, that circle of giving and receiving that is life, continuous flow. We see ourselves blessed and blessing others. We remember the joy of an unexpected gift and the pleasure of bringing joy to another when we've shared from an open heart. In this pause, we invite you to share your financial resources as you are able in the support of this growing spiritual community. We encourage you to think of your financial gift as an energy that emanates from your heart and your life and blesses the world with that love. Several options for giving appear on the screen behind me. We do try to make that easy for you. very easy to go online, for example, and on the web page, click in a button that says donate. You'll see a text to give option. We have a bowl as you leave the sanctuary if you have a tangible gift to put there. If you are interested in being a part of an ongoing planned giving program that's called the Giver Circle, then contact Reverend Nina directly about that. And if you would like information about planned or legacy giving, please write directly to Dr. Richard.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
I do always like to slip in a very special welcome to people who might be here for the first time or the first few times. Help you orient just a little bit. There are information cards in the back of chairs, so if there's a chair in front of you, you'll see those cards. If you haven't yet looked, it does give you additional information about who we are and how you might stay connected with us. We do have a welcome and information station at the back of the room, back in this corner. Lots of brochures and information there. Do stop by and get acquainted. If you can stop by the Soul Things bookstore on your way out, right to the left of the main door, there is a small little daily inspiration called Daily Word, a Unity publication that is just a short little uplifting read every day to kind of get you started on the right track. We would like to give you a complimentary copy if you haven't yet received one. And I would like to turn your attention up to the screen again.
We're here at our third hands-on housing event with Unity in Lynnwood. And what we do is we find a person in our community that needs a little uplift. And we are working with Homage Senior Citizens to find that person. And then we get a group of people together and we make magic happen and transform that house in a day.
Hi, my name is Michelle Fry. I'm the volunteer manager at Homage, and we are pleased to partner with Unity in Lynnwood for the Hands-on Housing project. We're working at Cheryl's home today in Lynnwood.
You know, hands-on housing brings people together. We partner with the community, with Homage, and we've got a fabulous Unity congregation where they bring their love and their energy to the community, and we fabulously transform a house in a day.
So there's a lot of women here, and that's really fun to see. And a lot of people, more people turned up than I had anticipated. So it's just a fun day.
So I love coming out with all of the people here. I love getting my hands in the dirt, or in this case, the paint.
We're painting the house. We got landscaping going on. And in the back, we have a massive jungle excavation going on.
We've had several neighbors that have stopped by just to see how they can lend a hand. We've got 2 back there working and a couple more up front. But it's that sort of community that we love about hands-on housing that brings people together.
We moved in here in Labor Day weekend of 1967, so it'll be 54 years next month. My youngest son was 7 months old.
Been in this house since I was 7 months old. Of course, I don't remember it then, but there's pictures to prove it.
I knew it was my forever home when I walked in, and it was a whole lot different than it is now. And I never dreamed the future that it held.
One thing that my mom's been big on her whole entire life, she's always been there helping people on their journey through sobriety and their journeys through faith. With people at times didn't have anywhere else to be with other family and stuff because, you know, the problems they were going through, and my mom stepped up and offered a safe place for these people.
Well, and I know you've shared your home with many, many people, with family and friends throughout the years, and they have left you with mementos that you may not have wanted.
Yes. Oh, geez. People were moving in and out, which was fine. You know, I mean, there's a lot of stories about the wonderful people who stayed here for various times. But one day you look up and you say, what is this? Whose is it? Where'd it come from? What do I do with it? You know. Last year we were supposed to do the dumps, clean Grandma's house, then do the, you know, clean out the garage, get rid of everything. And COVID shut it down. No dumps, no donation centers, you know, so. This year, it's like, it's gone. It's gone. Hallelujah, it's gone. Because half of it I've never seen before.
What has been the most miraculous or transformative or meaningful or magical for you in what we're doing? Oh, dear.
Yeah. Probably uncovering the patio there. That was totally... I mean, all of it is amazing and overwhelming and awesome, but that one was like my last real project of putting my sweat and tears into something.
And that was like, we just found that today. I mean, we've done all that prop work and we did not know it was there. And you kind of picked every patio stone and put it down, is that right?
More than once, because was getting the pattern right so it laid out right, you know, spacing, because some of them had to be around the edges and stuff.
Well, it's going to be there again, and it's going to be beautiful, and your house is going to be beautiful again.
Oh, wow. I mean,
it has been just an incredible blessing and honor to be working with you and to have this project come together.
I know that we're making a dent, and the homeowner is so happy that we're here. That makes it more fun to dig in, literally dig in.
I find it fulfilling at so many levels, socially, emotionally, just getting out there and working with my hands, all of it, and helping someone. In the process of having that much fun is just amazing.
Oh my gosh, I think this is so amazing. This is the coolest program I've ever seen. When she told me about it, she had me look at an old video of it from the last couple of years. I've met such nice people. They've all just been so friendly and giving, and all their time they've spent here is just overwhelming.
This has given us a second lease on keeping her in her home for the rest of her days. And again, for her to continue to keep giving back, and appreciate the fact that you guys are giving to the community. So
I just want to say thanks to everybody in our extended church community. It means a lot to Cheryl, homeowner, and I'm proud of what we do as a group. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's my house.
It's your house.
My forever house. You know, unity played an important part in that too, because like 40 years ago, I was so lost and confused, trying to figure out what my life was going to be like, and I went to Unity, and they were so friendly, and it's like, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with us. You know, it was just like, I'm safe, I'm home, it's okay. Then Unity's back in my life.
Good morning, everyone. I'm John Brooks. I'm proud to serve on your board of trustees and also proud to be part of the leadership team for the Hands on Housing Project. This is going to be our 4th year for Unity in Lynnwood. It'll be the 11th year for our leader, Daniel Kalfas, who has done 7 of them at Unity in Austin, Texas, and brought that wonderful, wonderful process and structure to us here. We have a great leadership team, and we are looking for other participants to come join us. If you can plant a plant in a pot, that's fine. If you can dig with a shovel, if you can do more physical work, that's great. But we're just looking for greater participation from our community so that we can help our new homeowner. She's 83 years old. She's Chinese. She can say thank you. That's about the extent of her English language right now. But she's very grateful. She lives with her son, who I'm guessing is in his 40s. They were a finalist last year in our selection process for our homeowner. And we were a little uncertain, but we did go there and do a little fence project for them after our Hands on Housing project, and they were very grateful. And they were our finalists this year. Most of the work, almost all of the work is outside. It's a little brush clearing, it's some tree pruning, it's some various outside stuff, some hauling away of stuff to the dump. But you know, it's just really been wonderful for me to engage year after year. I say this is our 4th time. It's been really exciting to build our community, to help serve our greater community. And Don is part of our leadership team. I want to ask him to talk about his experience, so give you an idea of what that's about.
Morning. My name's Don Duran. I am part of the leadership team for Hands on Housing. I'm proud to be part of this group. I'm absolutely thrilled to be a part of this church. That's what got me involved in Hands on Housing, is my thrill with being a part of this church and being welcome and feeling the love from the participants, from the front door all the way till you get to the parking lot, was such that I felt like I needed to give back. And when I heard that there was a project that the church was going to work on that was garden work, outside garden work, I thought, oh my God, my wife and I, we've hit the Holy Grail. We're going to be awesome. So we thought this is the best opportunity of all to give back something to this church that we felt like we had gained in just a few short months here in our first year. And we were a part of it, and absolutely, it's the most thrilling thing that you'll experience. Dr. Richard said something here this morning that's very compelling. He asked us to be welcoming and to reach our hands out to other people that we don't know. And I would edit that just a little bit and say, if we work for people that we don't know right now, you will get every bit as much back. Plus, it's something that gives you back all year long, because you now know that you've improved someone's life immeasurably given the amount of work that gets done in a given day or in that one day. For years in advance. And in fact, you've improved the neighborhood. We're meeting the neighbors love it. I mean, it is just a great energetic vibe that you get to feel if you're a part of this. So I want to encourage anybody, like John said, if you can pull a weed, if you can plant a plant, if you can brush a brush, there are so many things that we can do. Even just if a half hour, if you can give us a half hour, we will absolutely be blessed by your half hour. So thank you for giving us the opportunity. At the same time, we would welcome to see you for the shortest period of time or all day long if you're capable of that as well.
Thank you, Don. So here's the ask. If you would like to participate, be part of this operation, go to the Unity in Lynnwood calendar page. The date is August 6th. It's a Saturday. We have done some preliminary work in terms of hauling away garbage. We're going to have some more hauling to do. We're not going to have a major paint operation this year. We have some budget constraints, so the hands are what's important for us this year. So go to the calendar page, click on August 6th, and sign up. No cost to you except for getting there. Thank you.
Thanks to both of you, John and Dawn. Lovely presentation. Nathan, for making that film. Others that are a part of the leadership, Tim, I know is, and just all the names won't be right on the tip of my tongue. The leaders have been working for a while and do the yeoman share because it's a huge organizational effort. We get to show up next Saturday and do some stuff. But I do know from firsthand experience, it's thrilling, I think was the word Dawn used. It's thrilling to do a little part and look at the gigantic transformation at the end of the day. I wasn't paid to do this part. But I caught your enthusiasm, Dawn and John, and it's such a worthwhile thing, and it feels so good. So I hope to see you all next Saturday, and I just checked the weather report. It is not going to be 90 degrees. Yeah. Okay, just a couple more invitations or announcements. Lunch will be served. Yes. If you're part of the morning team, stay for lunch. If you're part of the afternoon team, come for lunch. If you're part of the all-day team, come for lunch. 12:30, I believe. Is that correct? For lunch, 12 or 12:30. Just show up. It'll be a party, and it's okay. I gotta stop. The first Sunday of each month is Newcomers Sunday. So next week, newcomers, however you define yourself, if you are relatively new, you're a newcomer for this event. You're invited to this potluck lunch that will be generously provided for those of us who are not newcomers, but are oldcomers. So, however you define yourself in this mix, please come to a potluck lunch here next Sunday, and it will be a chance to get to know people that you may not know now. We have a prosperity class coming up, and as I announce it, I want to suggest that you broaden your definition of prosperity. I tend to see dollar signs. I want to remind myself to think of flow, spiritual resources. So this class will begin on Tuesday, August 16th at 7 p.m. The natural order of things knows how to support its creation. That's you and me, and much beyond us, both in part and in whole. So the trouble yet empowering question becomes, are you cooperating with the natural order of things or frustrating the natural order of things? Join with others willing to get themselves out of the way of that which longs to prove itself. The class will be facilitated by Dr. Richard and Reverend Nina. And please save a date for the all-community picnic. That date is Sunday, August 28th, 12:30 p.m., probably again at Lyndale Park. Please register. It's really critical to know who's coming. So again, go to our website, unityinlynnwood.org, go to the calendar page, find the date, click on the event, and you can sign up that easily. Thank you so much.
So I just decided in that moment, in fact, I'm going to double your pay for... You won't know what to do with it. Oh, I tease. The idea of a metaphysical layer of wisdom, okay? The idea that it's very personal. This is not a new idea. This is not a modern idea. It is an early idea that we've lost. Okay, it would have been very much in keeping with the with the Jewish paradigm of that first century geography that we're always asking, what does this have to do with me? What does this have to do with me? This is not a new idea. The two masters are, wow, that's a personal conversation. Should be personal. I'm so happy to be with you. And this concludes the first half of our morning together. Take a deep breath, close your outer eyes again. Let us come into a bold, ostentatious, audacious place as we prepare to leave. Let us take ourselves into the suggestion. Let us give ourselves to the suggestion that the God of our understanding is at hand. Whatever that means to you, the God of our understanding is at hand. The God of my understanding is at hand. And the God of my understanding is enough. Let's start with that. There is a wisdom within me that is enough. There is a life within me that is enough. There is a sufficiency to me as an expression of the God of my understanding that is enough. I arrived fully funded for that which is mine to do. And there is a wisdom that is enough. The God of my understanding is at hand. The God of my understanding is enough. And we do not abandon this as we consider reopening those sensory eyes of ours. We do not allow this moment to be singular and isolated, but we carry it forth. We become the hands and feet of this heightened awareness in our worlds. In a sense, we become that light, that light, that light for all who long to glimpse of something beyond a shadow today. And we close our time together as we always do with sung words of blessing, with sung words of farewell.
May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure